What is up, ladies and germs, and welcome back for another video of We Draft Paper. This is our TV series where we draft some paper magic and kind of go over the fun stuff and the not fun stuff and the cool stuff and the not cool stuff. But yeah, opening this pack here. This pack had like some opportunities, but opening the white uh, temple land, which you can tap 4 in itself to put 1/1 counters on each creature you control, which is a pretty strong effect and limited. I'm pretty sure I should have picked that up here, but I didn't. We have a couple okay cards. We got Suki as a nice uncommon, but Beifong Bounty Hunters does have some fun play to it. I actually like Golgari in this set. I think there's a lot of fun things to do it. Like you open yourself up A to black with great removal, and then B like a lot of earthbending synergies and Beifong Bounty Hunters. What that'll do, like even it counts itself as well. Like when it dies, it'll earthbend equals X, and X is the creature's power. So kind of just leaning into a little bit of that. If you guys like this form of content, please let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, all the things. Really appreciate it. I do love roots here. It just fetches a land, and I'm like, I can see where this direction goes, and it's a lesson on top of that. We also have Combustion Technique, which is a really strong card, but that would put me in a different color. There was some. I think the right thing to do in this pack would be definitely to pick up some of the red that was kind of flowing. Not necessarily this pack, but there is a second land here. So this is kind of one of those situations. I'm not inspired by any of these cards, so I was like, well, let's take the best card, and I do think it's the Abandoned Air Temple. So we do that. So trying to stay focused, as far as like what synergies we got here, but been kind of past a few bit of turd packs, or like just at least things that we're not looking for. I'm pretty sure I take the land out of here. Retrospect, like the captives are pretty good, especially when I'm considering green. Earth Kingdom Soldiers is nice little 5-drop as well. But I think there's options here. I think this is kind of like a pack where you can make some decisions just because everything's real medium. But we take the land, just kind of spec on maybe some splashing some stuff because I do have the land and a pseudo black card, so like Abzan. Seeing the Fire Sages here is kind of a big spot of just identifying what's open. So I am wanting to play green, so the Walltop Sentries would be a nice pickup here. Boomy Bash, also not a bad card. But Fire Sages being here is this is when I should have realized that red was kind of being open. But I did not. I opted to kind of stay the lane of green, which I'm okay with doing. I think the Sentries is a fine card. 2/3 Death Touch, and then Reach, I believe, as well. This card, or this pack, didn't really have a whole lot for us. Kyoshi Warriors is a strong card, especially when I have the Abandoned Air Temple land to provide some synergies. Going wide, adding counters isn't a bad place to be. But I take the tactics here, which is okay. If I end up with a lot of allies, then it could provide a really strong effect. So, I mean, actually, cards that I'm looking at this point is like the Badger Mole. because it gives +1/+1 counter things trample, and it's kind of just a nice value card. Get a 4/4 and a 2/2 for 5. Pretty strong effect. Yep, the village people or whatever is nice. 3/1 blocks really well when it dies. Earthbend 2 also really good with the Beifong bounty hunters, because the Beifong bounty hunters, if Beifong bounty hunters is out and then the village dudes die, the 3/1, so you get the Earthbend 2 and you get the Earthbend 3 because the power is 3. So basically you're Earthbending 5 uh, when that creature dies. So there was some pseudo synergies there, and in 5/5 in this format's is well statted. And hopefully it traded off at some capacity. But more often than not, they're not going to want to trade that off just for the sake of, like, they can openly see what's about to happen if those two cards are out. I ended up going, in all technicality, 2-1 tonight because round one, I played a good friend of mine, Vanessa. She had a mono white deck that was really sweet. It just kind of like just crushed what I was doing. It had good interactions with like every good threat that I would put out. And so, and then for game one, I mean, I'll provide gameplay for that today, so we'll be able to check some of that out. You guys can watch me get my tail kicked in, but um, as we finish up this pack, I think pack 2 was my strongest pack, and so we'll get to see what we kind of get into there. I did it. I mean, this deck was very, very, very medium. I can see because I lost against Vanessa. I got my bye in round 2. I got a bye in round 2, and then round 3 I won. And actually beat a actually really well made Is It deck in my round 3. So I was happy with the free win and the real win with this deck. Had Fire Sages here, right? So like I'm like, oh man, another one. But I'm like, Toph, okay. So this is me with the understanding I saw that red was open. So, and I know I passed some quality good reds, so like there's a risk to be had here because I'm not about to get fed from the other side necessarily. But the guy I was feeding to was not. He ended up not being in red, which is nice. So I'm hoping to wield this cadets or the land because I can imagine a Jund build from this spot. Some earth bending, fire bending stuff, getting some value, instant speed. So we take Toph here. Feel good about that. Toph's a good card. Whenever you play Toph, you can discard a card and then bring a card back from the instant or sorcery back from a graveyard. I get past the fire bending apprentice, I think it is. The rare. It's in the sweet art and foil. I'm like, oh, shiny. Looking at the rest of the pack here, I'm seeing a lot of the Tiger Dillos. So the card's not great. In fact, it's kind of bad. But if you can like have like 3 or more of them, they can kind of chain off and be like real big beaters, which is nice. Zhao's not what I'm looking for. Another kind of, well, medium pack. But then we get the mythic. So the mythic is red, red, red X, and then with flash, it's an enchantment, and then when it enters with X counters on it, and then it basically bumps all that damage. Anytime a damage is dealt to an opponent or a creature an opponent controls, then it's that much extra damage. Just a nice finish card. So I'm like, well, Gruul beats. Doesn't seem bad. The only black card I really have that I care about is Beifong Bounty Hunters. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know if I'm playing it. I'm kind of into green. But we could take Zuko's um, recursion spell there, but I'm like, should I just dive into red and take this bad red card? Should I take Deadly Precision, land? Kind of just splitting my options here. Kind of a tough pick just because nothing's like really great for me. I wish I was seeing more green cards in this spot. Doesn't matter how long you look at these cards, they're not great. Zuko's Convictions though is pretty nice, especially with the having some quality creatures to play and bring in at instant speed is pretty nice, especially the ones with like um, ETB abilities or abilities that affect like Bait Fong Bounty Hunters. If a creature's about to die, you could have put that in at instant speed, and you get the effect of when that creature dies, you Earthbend. Once again, another not great pack here for us, but like there are more or less options. We got Rocky Rebuke, which would be fine in this deck. I actually think that's what I end up picking up. But I'm looking at this Tigerdillo because I'm seeing quite a bit of them go around. So I saw one in pack one, but I missed that opportunity. But I know I've seen two in this pack, so I'm like considering that option. I'm like, well, if I take it and wheel the other one, that actually kind of maybe can provide like we can get there, especially in these packs where I'm just not seeing much that I like. I think the right pick's actually just Rocky Rebuke, but honestly I think it ends up coming back anyways. Both these cards would wheel. It's just not really, we didn't have a lot of green drafters at the table anyways. That's how I know no Badger Mole Cubs were picked up. Like, well, thanks for the $60 card. Life's good. Not feeling real great. I mean, I feel better about that pack because that pack did kind of like give me some strong cards. It finally gave me my direction I want to be. It's like, well, we need to be in red. I just got past the Firebending Apprentice on top of that red Mythic. So it's not nothing. I think that we're confident and like we have things. So I'm like, well, let's just be a beater deck. Let's get some quality removal and kind of see how we can end this up. So be selective. Do we want to be black? Probably not, but just be ready for anything. Late Grand here. So not seeing a whole lot for us. I think I take the Rough Riders or the 5-drop. But shameful to see Grand go so late. Card's good. Like it's just a lesson deck, just there or not. Another Kyoshi Warriors, but I see this Raucous Audience, which is good in this kind of deck because I feel like my 4s are pretty good, especially like with Toph and things like that. If I can turbo out Toph or Beifong Bounty Hunters, it's gonna have its own little payoff. I do. So this is between land or trap, and I think the right pick was to take the trap, but I waffle back and forth on this one. I'm not confident in it, but I also was like, well, I have no fixing for this Beifong Bounty Hunters because that's definitely my only. So we get back to Tigerdilla. I have to make sure that I took it in the first place. Like, did I take the other one? Because I couldn't remember if I wanted that one to wheel too. But the Earthbender Warriors, or whatever it is, Earth Kingdom Warriors, it's also would have been a fine pickup too. Especially like that I'm developing some ramp and things like that. I like the mana sink in that guy. I'm like, okay, so since we're getting into ramp, I'll take something I can dump mana into. So the 2/3 menace guy that you can ping it for with free mana doesn't seem like a bad spot here. Fill in that 3-drop slot a little bit. Got back the Rakdos land, so Feeling better about splashing for black, especially when Beifong Bounty Hunters is it's basically a double splash card. We get the Tigerdilla back, so and I kind of told myself like I'll test them. I'll see how they play. You know, if I get three of them, it's gonna feel real good. You know, just imagining back to back turns. You know, boom boom, and then just smash them for four, and I'm gonna feel quite ahead. I did have a. I like playing Vanessa. We always have a good time. We always get rowdy and silly during our games. But her deck was sweet. She had a mono white deck that had the 5 mana sorcery that makes 1/1 allies equal to the amount of planes you have, and then scry 2. And she didn't slam that on me. She played her other good cards. She had two jailers that kept soaking up my combustion man's, like, and it was just rough. I was like, dang. Um, I'm not a big fan of Avatar Destiny. I don't know. I don't like the idea of being able to like mill 5 or 6 cards for no value except for just bringing it back. And it could be a cause for blowouts too. I'm investing 4 mana into something where I hope you don't have removal for. But considering I'm turning into more of like a ramp deck, um, the Meteor Sword seems like a nice thing to pick up here. Tigerdilla, don't worry, we're going to try to make that one wheel. Boomy Bash and Sentries are both quality picks. I think I pick up Boomy Bash, needing some more removal, definitely, for this deck. Boomy Bash, I keep kind of going higher and higher on it. I think that it's a fine card. Another Raucous Audience. I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, man, there's a lot of them here. And Boomy is kind of like top end stuff, but I understand that green's quite open, so I'm cool about just trying to let those wheel. This is a 7 person pod. But Combustion Man's actually what this deck is looking for as far as just like looking for a quality top end that I can maybe get out on turn, 4 even. I feel like that's a cheat turn for that card. Yeah, turn 4 is my best because turn 2 I'm rampant at whatever capacity, whether it be with Roots or the Raucous Audience. So I do like the Yuyan Archers, but I think I'm just like, well, I need to make sure I'm not risking too much by trying to let all these Raucous Audiences wheel and then not get them for any weird reason. There's always risk there, but having 1 or 2 is all I needed. I ended up getting to 3. I think I played 2. But every time I saw them, they played well, that's for sure. Sentries, late dragon here, Boomy Bash. Pretty good pack for me. Boomy Bash actually really good with Toph. Get back Boomy Bash. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. This was not an inspiring deck. It was just fine. I do like green in this set a good amount. I think green's still one of the weaker colors, maybe second to black. Because black just doesn't synergize very well with a lot of the things that are going on because there's a lot of strong things that are going on. But black itself, I think, is a fine color just because the strong removal in this particular set. But yeah. I have a lot of fun drafting this set. I have kind of, I'm not sick of it by any means, but I have drafted quite a bit. I actually don't know a number at this point, just because when you just kind of keep grinding, you lose track of that number. And I don't play. I play as much as I can. Like before sets, I was more so just drafting to record and things like that, just to not miss any opportunities. But this, like, I'll sit in my car and kind of run a draft and chip away at games here and there and stuff like that. But just because I like it a lot, it's like, well, I can skip out. And there has been a lot of car drafts that because I go into work a little bit early and just veg out and relax and rip a draft, and after that just go back into work and stuff like that. And then before I drive home, maybe I'll pop a game or two in my car, just kind of like come down off my shift and all that. Badger Moles, huge pickup, great card. This deck wants to see a lot of Badger Moles. Rocket Audience comes back, feels good. I may take yeah, I do take it. It just energizes with Bayfunk Bounty Hunter so good. And there's my Tigerdilla, which it's such a it's not good. The card is not good. It's very not good. Got Boomy back. I only have a few lessons, but things to ramp into. I feel like I was a little short on, but I do have a few sinks, like mana sinks. Having access to all this ramped mana. So having the two Rakdos lands that I can mana sink into to draw more cards, and then the 2/3 menace that the Warden that I can ping them for, and then also the my red mythic that I have as well. And then the 2 mana exhaust 6 that puts 2 1/1 counters on it, and Earth Bends 2. It's also pretty good as well. So here in a second you'll see the deck, and this is what we ended up kind of running with. I did end up taking out the tactics to play, I think, oh yeah, Zuko's Conviction. So I did splash for 2 black cards, but yeah, it was fine. And this is my game with Vanessa, and yeah, Vanessa's always fun to play. We just have so much fun. I love getting matched up with her, and then even Lawson, that you guys have seen plenty of on this TV series. But you just always have a good time. It's not about like sweat mode. It's just having a good old time is what Friday Night Magic is all about to me. Learning the set, kind of doing fun things, getting a little wild, inappropriate jokes, and good times, memorable. And her playmat is one of the best playmats I've ever seen. I would get it, but I would never want to taint the coolness of her playmat. Sexy Karn, man. Karn's the man. It's just such a good playmat. And I also like Lawson's playmat, the effing nerd. I throw a lot of nerd shade to my friends. We abuse each other verbally. I think I do more of the abusing, but they hold their own. I gotta respect it. So I ended up going to a mull to 5, which doesn't feel good. First hand was 6 lands, and what was it? 6 lands, and I think it was a 5-drop. No, it may have been a 2-drop. Anyways, it wasn't for me. No, I think it was a 3-drop. I think it was the Sentries. So didn't want to keep that. It was actually, I consider those hands like maybes. Like if it's a fine creature, but like all it takes is for them to interact with it at any level, and then me just draw one or two lands, and I'm just boned. So gonna try to find a happy five. And it's weird to say, I love losing to Vanessa because she like gets so nervous. Like even when she's like winning, she still feels like she's losing. It's just a funny thing about her that always just happens. What do what do they say? Like I was terrible. Like after the draft itself, we're talking. I'm like, oh, my deck's bad. It's not good, not good. And they were saying that like that's when you win. That's when you just crush people with bad decks. I'm like, that is something that I like to do. I like to draft bad decks and just crush people with them. Just have my cute little synergies and how my cards play together, and it turns out well. It takes advantage of any missteps or stumbles from the other opponent. Those are like when I'm at my best, and taking advantage of those moments. But I was like, oh man, that was really nice, guys. I'm a terrible drafter, but a quality player. I always thought the opposite. She has the little rare Momo out, but I get to turn 3 Toph, which is great. I don't get any value from the yard, but if I'm able to cast any, because it's any spell, you get the Earthbend one. And if it's a lesson spell, you get to put an extra counter on that Earthbend. So, not bad. Feeling pretty good in this spot. Even with a mold of 5, like, the curve out is fine. But she does start interacting with my cards, which is a bummer. And she's like mono white control kind of player, and some of these turns I'm like, hey, you're not gonna play anything, just let me do my thing. I feel like I'm just gonna get airbending lessened here, and it's not the end of the world because I have quality ways to use my mana at this point, but I do also keep drawing lands. So I think I should have. I did plan on getting a Earthbending 1, but she ends up killing this. So I should have cast my spell before uh, the combustion. Yeah, the combustion guy before I did that, so I can get the value off the 1/1 Earthbending land. But missed opportunity. Probably, definitely should have just played the spell first to make sure I can get my value since it's a cast trigger. I feel good in this spot at this point. She's sitting on 5 cards in hand, and I'm sitting on probably a land. So I was able to top deck the Combustion Man, which is nice, but definitely need to kind of rattle off some top decks here. And they put the flyer out, so I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. And they tapped out, so I'm going to be able to contest a race here. You think of my lines. The Ruckus audience taps for 2 in this spot, but I don't think I quite need it. I play the Roots to get a land from the yard, but I think I opt to get the red because of the red mythic I have. I think that's more important than getting my splashed black. Actually, uh, I played no basics swamps in like my first round and I ended up having to side it in every game just because the roots not being able to get that actually kind of. So I'm trying to take advantage of Vanessa like tapping out here. So I try to blow up her thing. She takes the 4 damage, her 3/3, and then on the attack, but she chumps with Momo. So I'm like, oh, she's chumping. All right, that's not bad. Um, she is. She's a little bit of like timid. She doesn't want to get got. So she will like just throw out her resources sometimes as a player, and it's kind of like something I know about her. So like I don't mind just like I'm just gonna. This is a race now. Like you have to kind of deal with my guy or kind of, and I think I'm kind of straight up winning with him. So not terrible, not great. She plays the farm animals 1/1. She gets to gain 3 life. I'm like, I actually don't like that just because like it's tempoing me out. It kind of nulls out one of my attacks. When it dies, it gains 3 life. Not that I'm concerned about the disenchant part of the card. But then I think she plays a jailer here. No, I think she plays the Avatar, Team Avatar. Team Avatar is pretty good with her deck, especially with the token maker and kind of like going wide cards. I feel like the card that basically won her these games though was the 3/3 flyer that she has out. So feeling kind of screwed here. I do have my black source, which is nice, but I'm not at this point like I'm not scared to sack it to draw a card. I just need to kind of keep cards flowing for me, especially when I have options to, like a lot of cards that kind of help me out in this spot. I'm looking for removal, really. I just want to take care of the flyer. So she gains her 3 life, getting her farm animals dead on the block. She does end up taking the 4 to the face on the initial attack trigger. So I think this is where she slams the jailer. Then life sucks. And now she's, attacking for 5 a turn, which kind of sucks. Second my land to draw a card, then draw for turn, play the Earthbender Warriors or whatever it is. So, not feeling that I'm out. Removal spell gets my Combustion Man back, which can be nice. But like a Rocky Rebuke like goes a big way here. Had my Power Dragon Forest. I was like, oh man, I get to play both my sign lands. Got my Jim Davis Mountain, my Power Dragon Forest. Heck, yeah. Hellbent needs some removal here. I think I actually do get the Boomy Bash. Maybe not. But I am just quite dying. Not looking good for the home team, fellas. So I scoop him up. She crushed me. But good for Vanessa. Yay, Vanessa. Your deck's a lot better than mine. And which makes no sense because she went 1-2. She had a super grindy game in round two. She played up against Demir. Or actually, it was Esper, like, draw cards and stuff like that in round two. And I think they went to turns. But it was a grinder. And then I think she lost to, what was it, Mardu in round three, another friend of ours, Nathan. Because he kind of felt like his deck was the same as mine. We both had our same feeling about our decks. Like, it kind of does like very stock, just magic things. It doesn't do anything cool. We're not doing anything wild. We're just, you know, play creatures, try to smash face, carry on. Maybe remove a creature here or there. The one time I played my mythic red card tonight in my third round, it got countered, and I was like, oh man. And I don't like losing to that guy neither. And because he'll play cards without saying anything, like I'm like, what are you doing? And he just starts tapping creatures. I'm like, is that an attack? Are we in the attack phase? Just kind of like, come on, man. Let me know where we're at. And then like he'll tank on some turns and kind of like shuffling cards around. And I whenever people kind of like do that, I'll just like play my cards quick. Gives me plenty of time to think about my plays. So I'm like, okay, here, go back to you. So much so that he was like, man, I felt like I played the whole game. You were just so fast. I'm like, you gave me plenty of time to think about my plays. I'm not, I by no means think I'm like a fast player, but I know when I don't have any other lines like that. Um, but it also comes to a fault sometimes too, because I get sure about my plays, and that'll cause me to have simple misses, which is a common thing. Like if you don't like, you need to stay humble within yourself to identify what you do well and what you don't. And those are one of the things that I need to get better at is like working through different lines. Even though the first line I saw I like, so I just go for it. But just because you like it doesn't make it the right line or the winning line. So she curves out Momo into Pox Bearers and I play my Tiger Dilla. Tiger Dillas look real bad this game. I am holding on to a Rocky Rebuke, so leaving up 2 mana here for a Rocky Rebuke seems fine. I do, however, like don't want to kill anything on the board right now. But I'm hoping that she like maybe even wants to play a Jailer on my Tiger Dillo, but it's unlikely since like it's not even activated yet because it cannot attack or block unless I have a power 4 or greater creature in play. So she passes with um, 3 open mana. So I'm like, oh yeah, life sucks. I did end up playing a root, so I'm ramping. I'm getting there. Still have 4 cards in hand and doesn't feel the worst, but I think I have. What do I have? Yeah, I don't recall on this spot. I know I have Rocky Rebuke in my hand, but I feel like I have some plans here. I am flooding though. Like there was a little bit of flooding going on for sure. And she plays the damn 3/3 bird. So Momo gets a little pumped. So I take this advantage to, or this time to just take out the Momo because I think I actually do have um, a Boomy Bash in my hand as well. And I don't mind Boomy bashing the 3/3, but I may be wrong. Got to take care of this flyer. This flyer's probably just gonna kill me. Keep drawing lands though, so life sucks. Combustion man. Jeez. She had choice words about that play. But this lets me kind of swing with the Dillo, get my licks in when I can get them. I'm actually not feeling bad in this game. Like both games when I played the Combustion Man felt good, but I'm pretty sure she just had another jailer right here for it. So then after that, I'm pretty sure I'm boned. Yeah, we got another jailer. Yeah, and that turns off my Tigerdilla, and it's quite the wrap here. As we finish up this game, though, I this is We Draft Paper. We Draft Paper is my favorite part of this channel. It's what more or less inspired me to do content at all. Was doing this show. I want to improve it in any way I can. I but please offer suggestion or thoughts on what this TV series provides for you all, and I'd be truly grateful. And once again, I'm just trying to build this channel from the ground up and seeing what other cool things we can do and where this takes us. You know, I work a lot in the sense of like on my normal job, but this is how I spend all my free time to provide content for everyone. But as she continues to blow me out over and over and over again, uh, uh, we're so funny. Like I know we're just exchanging choice words. But that being said, guys, I appreciate you all for hanging out with us. We will catch you guys in the next video as she just keeps annihilating me. But thank you all again for hanging out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any of the support matters. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.